and here we are at the bottom of page 2. We're in section 2.4. Page 2b for the bottom. Here's another recall. We used recall to look at the formulas up above there. Recall is a teacher code to mean if you haven't learned these, if you don't remember these, learn this quickly. Okay, so here's something that, because you're going to need to build on it right away, you're going to need to have it as prior knowledge here. So the idea of percent, if you think of this in its two root words here, per and cent, it means for every 100. Okay, and in the sense that we've got these two placeholders here, which will help us understand what's going on with the decimals here in just a moment. Percent notation, in percent means you have in over 100. You have some amount for every 100. That's what the definition of percent is. So the other thing they want you to be able to remember, and if you don't remember it, let's get this learned quickly, get the practice you need so that you get solid on this, is how to convert from a percent to a decimal, and also then back from a decimal to a percent. So when you convert a percent to a decimal, think of it in terms of a percent can be written as a fraction. So really you're converting a fraction to a decimal, and that's something we practiced in chapter 1. And so you're going to be dividing, here's that fraction, you'll divide that in by 100. Okay, so you'll divide by 100. What does that mean in terms of your result? Well, when you're dividing by 100, you've got those two placeholders here. It actually moves the decimals 2 places to the left. Okay, and then you add a percent sign. I'm sorry, remove from the percent to the decimal, you would remove the percent sign because you started as a percent. Now let's look at what it would mean to go from decimal to a percent. Well, if percent to a decimal means you start in the fraction, meaning percent per 100, that means you would divide by the 100, which essentially is moving that decimal 2 places to the left. Now we're going to reverse that process, then it just makes everything the opposite. So instead of moving 2 decimal places to the left and removing a percent sign, now we're going to move 2 decimal places, or move the decimal 2 places to the right, and we're going to add a percent sign because again we're trying to get to a percent from a decimal to a percent. So in that sense you're already in decimal form. We want to see what that would mean per 100, so it would be like you're multiplying by 100. Multiply by 100. And again, that multiplying by 100, there's your 2 placeholders, but it would be moving to the right. So we'll move on to the next page here as we do a couple examples, and I'll give you a little shortcut trick to try to remember this. If you tend to pause and wonder, which way do I go with the decimal when it's percent to decimal or decimal to percent? Where do I move the little decimal point? I've got a trick for you on the next page. We'll see you there.